just got these in from Amazon. This was that one set we were looking at. I think it was like $38. They're pretty nice and shiny right now. You can tell, you can see my reflection and everything. They do spin a little bit on this. This is just a finished board. This was our little sample piece. I did some routering. So they're not bad, but I don't think they're gonna like slide very well. So we're still gonna have to put some epoxy, which was the plan anyways. So my plan is to kind of see how much of a lip we need to cut, get a measurement. It's not going to be much. I bet you these are 3/4 of an inch. So if we cut something about an inch, it would be about right. That's what my plan is today, is to rip some strips. I'm trying to kind of get this table continued. And I'm going to try to paint it and get that bar top stuff on it. So these measure out just a hair over 3/4. Trying to get it just perfect. So I think if we did an inch, that's not gonna give us much. Maybe we'll do 1 1/4. That'll give us about a 1/2 inch leeway for the slider, but maybe I'll cut a few little strips and just see what I like. Okay, I moved my space to another room and kind of started laying this out. Took these pieces, they're 1 inch, used the router on them. Then I kind of, beveled the edges here. So I'm just starting to lay it out. I don't know if I'm gonna do these. Kind of want something there as a blocker. You can see I kind of wrote down my number 8, so I'm going to cut a couple pieces for there. And then I have this number 3 down here, so you'll have to go from here around to there. I'm gonna have to kind of try to figure out how they have it laid out, or how I want to lay it out in pencil before I get into too much. Okay, so here's what I've got so far laid out. Start. Come down. Oh, I was going to put a little bumper in there in the way. I need to put the angle in there. And stop right here. So this is your, I guess, green. If you hit that oil, then you have to start over. That's what the instructions say. I've got all kinds of little measuring devices I found. Then you tee off from here, come around, bump the wall. I've got those 2 little bumpers in the way, and there's your tee box there. If you go past it, you hit the oil, you get in trouble. Maybe I should put another oil in here. I'll think about that. Tee from there, come around the corner to 3. Actually, I think I want to put that like that. So you have to come around behind it. So 3, tee to 4. 4 goes down to that corner. 5 is there. It goes all the way down there to that little wedge. And there is some hazard around it. You can't get directly into it from 5. You're going to have to go around it somehow. This wedge might need to be a little bit bigger. I don't know, I haven't decided. 6 goes back to this island green. 7 goes down to that corner there. 8 goes into this thing here. 9 is right there. It goes to here. That's probably the easiest shot. Then the 10T goes here to the other side of that wedge right there. And then back where the pencil is where your king shot is. Here's the hill. Now, I don't know how to make the hill quite yet, so I'm going to have to figure that out too. Paper mache maybe? I don't know. Maybe I can find a funnel, real fat, wide funnel, because I don't think you really need it more than about 1 inch tall. And then you need to cut the center out so that that puck can fit right in there. So here's my progress. I kind of did an outline of this gray and black, then these silvers. So I'm gonna come through with a Posca paint marker. If you've never used these before, these are really good. They got like a ball bearing in them, but they're paint markers specifically for painting. I have a kit of these. In my kit, I mean like, I don't know, 10 or 15 different colors. So we'll come back and outline everything with all of our Poscas. We got different sizes. We got some jumbos and stuff. But if you haven't used those are worth the buy. So far I put down some acrylic. I just mixed up this gray. I was trying to get to green, but I could never really get there with the paints we had. So I went out to Lowe's. Picked up some Valspar satin, and it's this green. And I'm trying to see if I can find the tag, the name of it. Whatever that is, I don't know what it is, but maybe you can look the code up if you need it. Oh, it's called catnip. So this catnip green, and then this one is called lemon twist. And I'm going to use this green for the greens, the darker green, and then I'm going to use this lighter thing for most of the board. So I'm going to, wherever we have a circle, I'm going to put that darker green just to make a little difference, differentiate between the two things. And once I get everything painted, I've got all the wood border pieces cut. I'll come back and nail those in and then epoxy everything. I still have to get I'm going to run a 2x6, not a 2x6, 1x6 up the side with beveled edges. And then we'll frame the whole thing with that. And then that's when I'll miter the corners. So